Hi everyone, this is Brooke again. Today it is the 24th, Sunday, November 24, 2019. I was not expecting to come out on I mean not in English. I mean I'm blogging more in my native tongue and but not in English. I was just about to have breakfast. I don't have breakfast anymore. But today I just feel like a little bit of the blues and stuff, and I decided to treat myself to some pancakes, which is like a mix of. I'm still not. I'm like I have a harm reduction approach right now. I'm brand new to Dr. Sebi teachings. So, but I feel so much better. It's not even been a year that I reduced my starch intake. I was one of those idiots eating carrots and beets and spinach salads every day and shit, and I couldn't even walk up the stairs no more. My joints, everything was fucked up. I was feeling miserable until I learned, those are hybrids and they got starch. It's like starch base things. So, but today, I put like half and half because I don't want to buy eggs and milk and all that. So I buy like a pancake mix that is complete until I learn how to make pancakes from scratch with spelt flour. That's the name of the flour. I didn't even know that was. Yeah, it's supposed to be like an ancient. It is an ancient grain, and it don't have starch because it's natural. The way God made it without starch, right? So, but I don't know. I don't even know how they. Dr. Sebi, I saw him once talking about that. That because they asked, so what the hell we're supposed to eat? He say, well, it's spelt flour. You know. She said, somebody, my daughter, something like that. They make these really great spelt flour pancakes, and they put agave, agave nectar, which is also natural. It's not, you know. Um, just so you can have an idea, I was just like watching, like a month ago, to Professor Michael Imhotep, and saying that he's finding out that one of the reasons the Europeans, was looking for other lands or for other routes. I mean, for other routes is because they got hooked on sugar. It was like sugar was like the original fentanyl. That is right now getting all these crackers. That's a cracker crack, I guess. I don't know the fentanyl. I don't even know what that is, but I heard that God is doing some justice. So with that fentanyl, so these crackers, they got so addicted to sugar that they was like looking for a fix. I mean, in the sense that probably, I don't know if they was running out, whatever, I don't know, but that's something to investigate. So, but right now, like I said, I was gonna have my pancakes already made, you know, so I put walnuts in them, which are also in it, and that Dr. Sebi recommended walnuts, so I eat walnuts like every other day. So I put YouTube, and I got suggested Brother Sanchez show that he was live streaming a while back, like a couple hours ago. I forgot how many hours ago, and I just got very upset because I mean, he sounded so much like myself, like I used to be. I used to be like very, I was like literally drinking the Kool-Aid, and I was like, I was a feminist. I was, just all this stuff. But then I found the Honorable Malcolm X, and I consider myself one of her disciples. The pale ass Mexican uh, tranny disciple of the Honorable Malcolm X, and one of the things that like somebody was saying, he invented the sound bites. In his times, nobody knew what a sound bite was, and he was very strategic about doing sound bites, and they're very effective because I remember them, when I'm about to do something, throughout my day. I remember them. One of them I like. I'm for the truth, no matter what. I'm for justice, no matter for whom. I'm for I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember the justice, and this is like, so the reason I'm speaking up, and even when it's not my community, obviously, obviously my opinion don't matter one bit, but as an outsider, this is what I think, and I feel like I have to speak up because I don't want to be associated with that, and I apologize because I used to be also like a feminist for a little while, and also I must give credit also to Dr. Tommy Curry. He wrote this book, The Man Not. You can buy it online. It's called The Man Not, which I've not really read, only excerpts because I haven't put up the money. But if they sell it in Harlem, I'm gonna buy it. It's like a $40 book, but it's worth it. I read reviews and everything, but I watched his lectures. I used to have several lectures in my other YouTube channel before they took it down, and I think I put one of them, and I'm gonna look them up because it was like, and I just it it was just like I just hated men. I have to say that I hated men because of my grandma, just my mother's mother, and my mother. She went and married this alcoholic, my father, with a lot of problems. He was the darkest. We've been hearing King Simon talk about his horrible experience. He cried just thinking about it. He was the darkest of his family, and I thought about my father. How it destroyed him and destroyed us all. You know, basically, the entire family. Just, I mean, I really, they're good Christians. They won't harm you because they are good Christians, not because of conviction. That's my take on them. So it's just like, it's sad. It is sad because well, the show, first, I'm getting ahead of myself. The show is about, I heard, I read on Twitter. I've been following Judge Joe Brown for I don't know, 3 4 years. I forgot. So he is very assertive. He's very well informed about today's. This is why, and he's not afraid to speak up. And he's not afraid to speak up. That's why and enjoy him. Sometimes he kind of like drink the Kool-Aid and start saying that. This is like what happens sometimes, which is like it's kind of like frustrating, but it's not much of a big deal. But like they go and like say, oh, fucking trannies are our number one problem. They are gonna destroy you and like whatever. And it's like, of course, this one thing we know about the crackers, they will weaponize anything and everybody, even your own mother. If they want to, they've done it. I was just making a show 2 days ago about this whore this porn star in Bolivia who who lended herself to be used to oust, is that how you say oust, president, the constitutional legitimate, whatever, I'm not going to say the word, President Evo Morales in Bolivia, a beloved president who like, even help, African countries in the Caribbean, according to them, because they're posting it on Twitter. They are like, and this bitch, she went from being a whore, like Cardi B, a Cardi B, except that her only talent, this bitch, I mean, Cardi B don't really have much talent either. So, and I made the video in my native tongue because I just feel like, this is so despicable that this is what feminists endorse this bitch. And so far, the police and the military, they have killed more than 30 in 1 week. In 1 week since this bitch. Well, what happened was that the United States paid like $1 million to this retired general to threaten the president, and said, if you don't abdicate, it's not abdicate, what's the word, quit, whatever. So we're going to kill, you know everybody in your office, in your political party, which is the movement to socialism. That's his party, and we're gonna destroy the whole city, La Paz, the capital city. So it's like, so he had to quit last Sunday. He had to show his resignation, resign. That's the word. Sorry. So extremely tragic, and nobody give a fuck. I mean, like, especially not in Black Twitter. Sometimes I think it's like, wow. I think that some of them are very determined to get reparations. That because where does reparations gotta come? They're gonna do $1 because that shit is not worth nothing. I mean, it's not backed. It's not backed by gold or anything. So it's just basically the empire, as we know it in the United States, is just like keeps feeding itself from all these what's it called? Political coup. The coup d'états. He violently ousting presidents, and that, like the way we're seeing it in Iran, in Venezuela, that they've been like, I've had a very stressful year because it's not just because I'm Latin American. It's not just because of that. It's just because I don't want this empire to get not another dime, to kill more people, to incarcerate Africans here, to open up more abortion clinics to reduce African population in this country, and to continue paying all these expensive propaganda campaigns promoting interracial breeding, or not say, I just don't know how to say breathing. I don't know. This is breathe. I don't know. I hate this language. So, but you know what I mean. That to make a nation of mulattoes that they don't know who the fuck they are, and they only identify with them, basically. That's just. But I mean, I'm crazy. I guess nobody, nobody care. I don't know. So I open that and I see that he's talking about that because, like I say, the judge had put on that he had he said it was an interesting something. I don't know. He made like one of these sarcastic remarks because of about Dr. Umar Johnson, and I did and I did like, that's kind of contradictory of like talking about unity, because he was just talking about unity, and just to make that sarcastic remark about Dr. Umar Johnson, which, is somebody I admire tremendously too, and I really believe he's a modern day Malcolm X. And, like I say, my opinion don't count. But if anybody was going to ask me, I really believe that you are not taking advantage of this man who love you so much, and you don't see that love, and I wonder sometimes if you are actually capable of seeing love when it's there, but I don't know, I might be wrong, and he might be this calm artist you want him to be, but I don't see it. And I've been following him for, I don't know, 8 years. One of the most embarrassing moments of my life, I went to this gay, Black Lives Matter event, and at the end of the march, which was very, I would say pretty successful. It was when, you know, it was trending, all these thousands and thousands of missing black girls. So, so it was we marched from City Hall, no, from City Hall, yeah, City Hall, no, it was Wall Street. It was a Wall Street and to Marcus Garvey Park, and we didn't make it on time, so it was closed already. The park, it was like 9 p.m. So, so I know I was exhausted. And the facilitator was like, anybody want to speak? Everyone want to speak, and I was just like, you know, like the fifth time he said, anybody want to speak? And like I say, okay, sure, I speak, and I was just, you know, I don't even want to say what I said. That's how embarrassed I am, And although that video is gone, I hope somebody would have downloaded, just like, I really wish there was a way to tell everybody you can download anything from my channel if you like it, especially if they are your videos. He gave a very good speech. And, oh, I tell you, like, you see how I'm like, I'm always like that, like a ADD or whatever it's called. So, so I spoke, and everybody was getting on top of these rocks. There's some rocks, like to prevent cars to going into the park. So I say, okay, so and they helped me get up there, and I turn around and I see Dr. Umar Johnson. I was like, yeah, that was embarrassing. Yeah, I opened for Dr. Umar Johnson. I was like, whoa. And nobody told me that he was going to be there. But that's the kind of man that he is. You know, he waited, and he always speak for free, whatever. It's just like very, very humbling moment. Anyway, so that video, Brother Sanchez was dissecting that. It was not like a video. It's one of those apps. I think you have to pay. I think it's Spotify. Yeah, I don't have money for that, and if I had it, I don't want to give it to the crackers. I don't think Spotify is owned by anybody, and probably it's Jeff Bezos or some shit like that. So, so I was like, oh, okay, so he's gonna talk about that. So it's like, oh, I get to hear, I get to hear what happened because I wanted to hear, I clicked on it and it was like, oh, Spotify, I don't know. It's just, so, but he just started like regurgitating all this stuff. It's just like, as in like, making it like a competition, without, saying it's not a competition. And, they have the same thing, what was first, the chicken or the egg, kind of like, I don't know what's called in this language, one of those discussions that it's like I say, what's more important, an egg or a chicken or a ham, I don't even know. They say chicken. I don't know. I don't know. Chicken is a ham. I don't know. But it's just equally as important. It's just like and I've seen over the years these conversations, and it's always like at the end of these conversations we all remember, men carry the seed, right? So men carry the seed. So, and we know without the seed, you can have the most beautiful uh, landscape, or whatever. There's no seed, so good luck with that. So I don't intend to take any sides or anything, but you know I I fast forward because I have like ADD. So what I heard, it was just like, I was like, really? So the program, and Dr. Judge Joe Brown, was about the Harriet Tubman proposal for her to be in the $20 bill, right? And which I agree with that segment of Black Twitter that said just like, it's just gonna confuse Africans even more by seeing themselves in the devil's bill, especially when Africa was never really, I mean, like, currency. I mean, there was probably just like a collectors, like not collectors, but there was coins and stuff, but it was not like what the crackers did. It's like, oh, you don't have no money, so you don't eat. You don't have no money, then you have to stay outside and freeze to death. That was the cracker doing. So, I mean, I spoke about one time on Twitter, like, well, call it Periscope, whatever. And this is like, that was one of the few times I've been on Periscope because I was shocked. It's like, I say, I didn't see it coming, all these American flags, I mean, like, wow. But I'm naive sometimes too. It's just like some people are like, oh yeah, you're not following them, this lesbian piece of shit. To me, I know you love her, Yvette Carnell. Dr. Boyce Watkins was saying that he gave her thousands of dollars while she was living in her mother's basement or attic. I don't know where Yvette was living, and it was Dr. Boyce Watkins who gave her. I didn't know who Yvette Carnell was. Nobody knew who Yvette Carnell was until she went on the Dr. Boyce Watkins show. And now she's spewing all this like, oh, the bullshit. They make up shit, like cultural appropriation. That is so ridiculous. She don't believe that there's cultural appropriation, amongst many many things. But you love the gays and you hate the trannies. So you are making your bed, and guess what? You're gonna have to lay on it. I mean, not literally. I'm not being double entendre or anything, but it's just like, and even the ones that they're constantly, saying, oh, the gays are really gonna kill us. Look at this. The other day they had this. I forgot. I don't think I know him, but it was like a hip hop concert, and this African guy. It was like, must have been like 6'5" or some shit like that, with a purse on stage. With a purse. I mean, like, come on, it's a purse, whatever, blah, blah. It's the big deal. It's just like, what's the big deal? It's not big deal, but the only big deal is that I see a lot of men very emotional, getting very emotional, and it's like, and I'm not saying like, well, it's not. I mean, like, yeah, it sucks that you cannot even get emotional because men are way more emotional than you now. But it's not about that. It's just about the agenda, and it's all about that this whole, And I've been saying it for years. It's gonna be 11 years that I'm in Twitter, and so I just keep saying basically the same message. I mean, not from day one, but from the moment I started wake up, I saw it clearly. What the Europeans are trying to do is they've been doing. They did it already in many cases. Many people. There's a guy who comes in the Tom Joyner show in the morning on WBLS. No, not WBLS is the new one. I don't know. Which, by the way, they just had a purge. I don't know what happened. They had new deals and like nothing worth talking about. But so this gay guy, he come in New York City for some reason because they don't show us everything of the Tom Joyner show here in New York City. So they hired this gay guy. So he got these bitches calling him and saying that, oh, your voice is so sexy. Oh, I saw what you look like. I'm so glad I met you. You're so sexy. Like, you're coming on to a gay guy for what? I mean, like, and it is mind-boggling, that, when I learned, I used to also drink about the Kool-Aid about that, but I will consider that like about 90% of gay men can have sex with women and can have orgasms and enjoy sex with women. For me, that fucking because I was even when I was forced, to be in that community, I was never. It's like, no, I never had a choice. Like now they say they're pansexuals, that they say that they can fuck anything and everything. Like, and all this bullshit. I was like, So I mean, it questioned that legitimacy. Somebody there. Oh, my number. I think I'm number 9 in numerology. So, and, and I cannot really look at that. I'm Aries, and I get very distracted very easily. Yeah, excuse me right now. So yeah, I just find that very. I don't even know what to think about. Having these women call up the radio and say that they feel so turned on by this gay guy. I'm like, but that's the new world order. The new world order, right? Because, I think the Maafa was the beginning of the new world order, right? And now it's about sustainability, sustainable, keeping themselves on top, number one, right? And these crackers, I mean, like they print money, the Federal Reserve, which by the way is not federal, in case you don't know that already. So, wow, you never even met me, but thank you though. But don't distract me because I'm so easily distracted. So you can just print out money. They hire teams of public relations. They hire teams of whatever. So they come out with these strategies, and this strategy is just like beyond evil. Beyond evil. It's just like, I mean, like, to actually, I mean, like, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. I mean, like, in the African community, in African diaspora here in the United States, and this has been going on for a while. I think that was before I even learned about Dr. Tommy Curry. I noticed that there's a lot of men dropping out of school, a lot of boys dropping out of school. I mean, there was a lot of like, and reading in the newspaper, like you remember like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there was this study that published. It's like they say African American women are the most educated population in the United States. But that to me, that was like, I was like, whoa, It's just like, I think about it, it's just like, you know, I'm Mexican. I never actually read that. I'm sure there probably is, like in Mexico City, because that's where the most feminism is at in Mexico City. So they probably they do have, and probably is this the same in Mexico? I don't know, but it's just like it is just constantly, like they publish this 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 headline so much, and it had like, what was it, like 500,000 retweets, some of them. This African woman, um, it said 10 months after giving birth, she break um, Hussein Bolt's record. So, I mean, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just felt like, and I'm sure the crackers, they enjoy that so much. And then there was so many articles. It's like all the feminists. You realize the fastest woman in the whole world, she's African, and just like, and these are the same women that are always posting like, men are trash. Men are like, even when we all have been, I don't even bother no more. I lost my patience to say that, to say, please don't generalize. You can say there's a lot of African men who are like this, who are like that, but no, men are trash. I used to have back and forth, and then they used to block me and whatever, which, by the way, that's what Brother Sanchez did. He blocked me. I was gonna put like a follow up comment. I did like a whole, and I write slowly, so I wrote like this paragraph, and I said it's like, well, with all the respect, I do think it matter, who's the face of a race, and because I don't see that happening any other race, that the women is the face of a race, and it is true. Like Dr. Tommy Curry talk about that. He got whitelisted. I know you call it blacklisted. No, he that's what he don't live in the United States no more. He got so many death threats. He talk about, like, when he talk about, his position, whatever, he got blocked in every university. He had no job, and it was just like, you can never work in the United States again unless you are a feminist, unless you're a homocentric and you love the gays and you're kissing their ass, like Taraji P. Henson, Alicia Keys with her son with the gay flag nails and shit. Unless you have to humiliate yourself, in order to have a career. Which I say that's so toxic, because especially nowadays with the social media, children are going to see, like, was that really your own merit, or was it because you bent over and allowed the fucking crackers to get their way with you? It's just, somebody have to say it. Somebody have to say it. I mean, like, I mean, and it's the same thing in Latin America. It's the same thing in Latin America. Anybody you see on the radio or television is because, they are right wing nuts, that they are like, last year there was a concert in Colombia, at the border of Venezuela, because they was looking for any reason to strike and break into Venezuela, right? They hire all these mercenaries and everything, but Venezuela was very smart. Never, even the New York Times, they tried to frame them and say that, the government of Venezuela burned one of the trailers with the aid, which, that trailer that burned, which it was them who threw the Molotov cocktail. If it hadn't been because of the video, they would still be saying that it was the government of Venezuela. And at the bottom of the trailer, you can see all these, what they call paraphernalia, whatever, to make bombs, for terrorist shit. And none of the media told you this. None of the media told you this. And it's just like, that's your government. That's your beloved government. And that's why you keep quiet while this government trying to acquire more resources from our land, And the same way, you all forgot already that your government stole 60% of our Mexican territory and you don't give a fuck. That the same thing is happening to chattel slavery. Because it don't matter how much you say, it don't matter what you say and not say, what matters is what teaching in schools. And we've seen that. We've seen them all the time. They're teaching them that African diaspora in this country are immigrants, and crackers was so gracious to give them jobs. That's what they're teaching. So if you don't control your narrative, I'm transsexual, and I cannot worry myself, because I know people, they think I'm the devil. People think I'm this, I'm that, and it don't surprise me because we don't control our narrative. It don't matter what I say. It don't matter what I do, because people are watching television. People are going to school, and school they're teaching whatever. Which that right now it's not the case, right? We know that the white transgenders, because they're not transsexual, they're transgender, which is very different. Transgenders, they don't want to take medication. They don't want any surgeries. They don't want, like I say, like the gays, that they have sex with women too, and they don't tell you about. And they enjoy it and whatever, but they call themselves gays, or now they're calling them more bisexuals, and because they found out that's how they can raise billions and billions of dollars in their nonprofits. They were saying like, oh, okay, so now they got gay marriage. How can they make more money? So it's like, oh, now bisexuals, And I read, bisexuals are the most underserved community in the whole world. And it's just like, and people write them checks. So it really don't matter what we say, what I say, just like, and these white transgenders, they are just as horrible and toxic as any other cracker. And, and I spoke up and I said it with Chelsea Manning, the fucking neo-Nazi. She got caught in a Trump party, and with all these alt-right or whatever they call themselves now. And nobody spoke up because, oh, she's transgender or whatever the fuck that is, just they co-opt everything. They co-opt everything. And it's the same thing, the same way they created POC, people of color. Now they created transgender, so they control the narrative and they say like whatever, but I don't subscribe to that, and I've been denouncing them. Of course, now with my new channel, I have to do it all over again. So I'm not gonna tolerate, for me, like Tariq Nasheed, he's making his documentary, Bug Breaking, and he's saying that transsexuals are raping men. I say like, honey, transsexuals don't have genitalia. So, if you say block breaking, so, that's a specific. So you're talking about these faggots putting on a dress and calling themselves transgender and raping your men. So you have to say it like that. So I don't have nothing to do with those at all. And I know most of them are rapists. Even Cardi B, she exposed those things. She said that that they was drugging heterosexual black men and raping them. And Cardi B's Twitter is still on, and all that shit, you know. And you did not march and protest that bitch. You think you only because you curse her out on social media, that's gonna be no. I mean, but you know, we don't even know what a boycott mean anymore, you know. So it's like, and of course, she's a feminist icon, Cardi B. Even when she called black women roaches, but you see how it just like they go like they hate their men so much that they don't mind Cardi B calling them roaches because they hate their men even more. And this is why this is the whole point of me making the video. And they create smoke screens 24/7 about these, about that, and just like whatever. But the truth is that they don't want to have your babies. They don't want to have black babies. They're suicidal. There's some suicidal shit. I really wish I could never have to talk about this again because I feel it's not my place to say these things. But, you know, at the same time, you know, I don't want to have no blood in my hands. That's what I told Brother Sanchez. I don't want to have no blood, and I don't want them to say that just because of my existence, you know, that I kill. Because that's what they're going to say, that it was us who incarcerated millions of African Americans. Because they always find a fucking scapegoat. Because you believe your women that are evil, just as you believe the women, your women who are great, who are amazing. You know, but you have to speak up about the bad ones. I mean, yesterday I was in Utica waiting to get swiped, and I was like, and they have Wi-Fi, so I was on Twitter, whatever, and for some reason, I don't know why, I turned to my left, and I saw this African American woman, taller than myself, and she was pulling this little boy's ear. I didn't see his ear. And, you know, I couldn't help myself. And I say, you're going to tear his ear. You're going to pull his ear off, or something like that, I said. She turned around. She was like, and the other side, right there, was watching all these Jehovah Witnesses with their magazine racks over there. They didn't say nothing. They were just staring. And that little boy didn't make a noise. This is why I didn't even know what happened. The boy did not make a noise. I'm talking about the hate that hate create. You know, like that infamous documentary they did against the Honorable Malcolm X. This is the hate that hate create. You know, and don't talk to me about my mother, because my mother, she used to beat me up every day. You know, with una cuarta, le dicen cuarta, which is the thing where they hit the horses, you know, they hit the horses with, because she said we was worse than animals. That's what my beloved mother used to do. And I love her so much. I used to adore her. I still love her and everything. I'm grateful, whatever. I know she's a sick puppy and whatever. I don't want to have nothing to do with her, though. And thank God, you know, they they might approve me for you know, facial feminization. So say I don't want to get rid of my nose because that's my mom's nose. I don't want my mom's nose, for real. You know, it just you know, she harmed me really good. This is why I'm 54 years old and I'm like single forever. I don't even trust my fucking shadow. And you know, so anyway, that's a you know, I get distracted easily, but so yeah, I'm gonna tag Brother Sanchez I'm gonna put it on YouTube. I'm gonna tag him, and it's just like, you know, that right there, you could erase the comment, but you blocked me from commenting your channel. I mean, I feel like that is you're giving me too much importance because I don't have that kind of importance. And I want to ask you, what is it that bother you the most? I mean, like, if I'm lying, you can say, you're lying, bitch, and that's it, okay, whatever. I don't want you to believe what I say. I want you to make your own research. I want you to make your own research, but I told him, if you was to listen to conversations I've had with African American women about African American men, you would change your mind. And why are you talking to somebody who's not your race about your own people? Number one, I never open up and I say, Mexican men are these, Mexican men. If we was having that conversation, I can understand. If we was talking about men. I never talk about nobody. And anybody who ever met me, they know I never talk about. Especially we have serious problems in my country, and they think the solution is feminism too, and I'm fighting tooth and nail. That's not patriarchal. That's fucking colonial. We are recreating the same abuse these fucking crackers did to us, and I would be willing to bet that we're having the same fucking sex the fucking cracks when they was raping us. I've been saying this for like 10 years. This I've been saying it for 10 years because I say, like, I always say, it's just like, when are we going to sit down and analyze, what happened? Dr. DeGruy, Dr. DeGruy, she and Dr. Umar Johnson talk about, post-traumatic slave syndrome, and it's post-colonial syndrome too. There's another one too. This is why Latin Americans, we have always been, the house and yard N-words. We was trained to destroy, Africans by telling us, oh, just don't be like them, you're much better than them. You are prettier than Africans, you're pretty, whatever. And this is why, and Latin America is very anti-black, which, Dr. Clark said, anti-blackness is the world's doctrine. But, sometimes, they just think like, oh, no, it's just Mexicans who are anti-black, and just forgetting that it was Mexico who abolished slavery almost 30 years before the United States, and all you had to do was just cross the border. That's the proudest moment as a Mexican. In the 20th century, my country was the first one to revolt. We had the Mexican Revolution. What was it? Almost 2 years before the Russian Revolution? But nobody gave us credit that it was the first revolution of the 20th century. Of course, nobody will give recognition to Haiti, which is the mother of freedom, right? 1804. So, all that stuff, but that's very strategic, divide and conquer, divide and rule. That's like, they don't want you to look downside of the border. That's the one thing that scared them the most, believe it or not. Because if we unite, we'll take the continent back. We will reclaim the continent back again. So let's hear a little bit. I'm not going to play the video because I don't want to have problems, but I'm just going to put you a little bit. I was just going to set it up, the video, for a couple of minutes, but...
Yes, sir. Because I would hate for any listeners, and particularly feminists, to misinterpret your comments earlier on Queen Mother Harriet Tubman.
About feminists. They can go straight to hell, and I know they hate themselves because they got 2 X chromosomes instead of an XY. They are fraudulent, self-hating, and they're sick.
And it is true because that's what the crackers been telling us. It's just that, men are toxic, men are, oh, I didn't even finish telling you that, that, that I've been saying that they are proposing that the new manhood is the gays. Because, oh, they're trying to say they don't rape, they, they, they are harmless because they are soft, whatever. That is not the case. We had Kevin Spacey, we had all these fucking Morrissey, we had all these, Teflon coated that, they rape men and women. I mean, like we saw that in Ferguson, the Black Lives Matter, all these fucking gays, didn't they put something in some woman's drink and they drug her and rape her? And everybody was watching and nobody lifted a finger. So how come gays are the solution to violence? Oh, they call it gender violence because, like Dr. Tommy Curry say, men don't have gender. I'm not accomplice to that. Yes, I have a big critique on men, but I'm not gonna be ganging up because I already know they already kick you from schools. There's no heterosexual teachers in schools. They kick you from the even the nurses, even the stuff like that. And I've talked to men. They say all these women in construction, they're just waiting for the lunchtime and say oh, what you gonna have for lunch, and they go get the lunch, and they get paid the same amount of salary. There's a lot of frustration right there. I mean, like, you know what I mean. So, but they are men, so you're not gonna see them like but they are not Buddha either. And this is also what I say. I made a video on my other channel because I was learning about Rihanna and Chris Brown. So I didn't know because somebody gave me like a Netflix passcode and I watched that documentary. So they used to fight with their hands. So if you fight with your hands, at least you should say like, well, we was fighting with their hands. We was like hand fighters. I still think that she should have sent a note to the judge and said like, because that's one of the things that my grandmother always said, never fight with men because they are way more stronger. Of course, she wasn't telling to me. Was telling my sisters, but my sisters, I don't know, they listen to. I don't think my sisters ever, because they know once you, and men told me, if I see, I'm being attacked, like a man is strong, just like it's instinctive, which is horrible, and I'm not condemning, and it should be punished too. But not at the same time. If I am fighting with my hands, like I say, like I go like to a man like, oh yeah, whatever, and then he come like me, and I go, that shit hurt. Yeah, of course it hurt, bitch, because they are much stronger than you. I'm not gonna be stupid, like like that woman who got in the Bronx Zoo with the lion. And that's how much feminism they brainwashes. I used to put myself in danger in the protests. I used to go like, what, motherfucker, whatever. Just like, had I got one, I know bitches, they got broken nose, broken jaw from one punch from one man. Only one. We can beat you like 10 times, whatever. And it only takes one punch from one man to break our nose, to break our jaw, and it's just like, it's stupid. It's stupid. I will never physically fight a man. And obviously verbally too, because I know they're not Buddha. What have we done to produce this kind of men that they are equanime, equanimity, whatever that, equanimous, is that the verb? Yeah, that they are like, when they got a bitch calling them, you ain't shit, you are a joke, you are like, and I hear them on the street all the time. I hear African women, in the Bronx, especially in the Bronx. It's like, and you are like whatever. La, 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 la. The other day I was on 161st Street, and so this woman, it was in a car, and she was like a chihuahua, and I was just passing by, but I don't know. I mean, I saw that and I looked, and so the man went like boom, and now she went like ah, and they took off in the car. She wanted to make a scene because it was in front of the precinct, and the police was right there, and she said, "Oh, I have him locked up, and I get to fuck my buddies, and get the gifts from them while he's in jail." And then I tell him that that's his child. I mean, these stories, they don't get picked up by the media. Never. But we have to, as women, we have to admit our own responsibility. That's not to say, oh, we're going to take the blame, we're going to be like normalizing, we're going to be like, no. Wrong is wrong. But at least I have to say, yeah, so I was like, I was trying to hurt him really bad, and he's not. Oh, no. Us women, we're always right. Over here, I live in Little Dominican Republic, over here on Dykeman. And you might not see it in the English news, but over here, it's pretty frequent. I was even talking to my therapist. She's Dominican. And she told me that growing up, she's seen a lot too. These men, they just snap and kill these women in the street. And they don't care. They get locked up for life, but they say, I want fucking justice. That bitch was like, fucking everybody else. These are not my children. All that stuff. She laughed at me. She made an ass out of myself, which is horrible. Move on. I will advise this man, these bitches ain't worth it for you to go to jail and all that stuff, but they don't care. Dominican men, they don't care. They don't care. Just like, I remember a case, it was like 10 years ago, whatever. He went to look her up at the beauty parlor. And she came out. And right there on Broadway, right here on Broadway, 157 or something like that, he just stopped her to death. And he just said, take me, whatever. He wanted justice that bad. It's horrible. I'm not saying, I'm condoning violence. We're going to say like, oh my God, you're like, like whatever. What about Lorena Bobbitt? That was a cracker, I don't care. But still, like this fucking trend of cutting men's penis is like, everybody, I remember when that happened. They was having parties and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like the feminist was like, this is what we all have to do. We have to like whatever. And it's just like, but it's not, we have to see beyond men. We have to see that colonization, especially for African diaspora, slavery really, really destroy a lot of people mentally, psychologically. And like they say, I mean, like, I don't know, it just, I feel like it haven't happened in Latin America, at least not in Mexico. The phenomenon where women turned their men in and got an apartment and got welfare and food stamps and all that stuff, and the man went to jail. Dr. Umar Johnson talked about that, and he made a video. He said like, black women are their secret weapon, because they can just disappear a man like that. All you have to say, oh, he's the father, and he's not paying. In several states, that's legal, and it's punishable with jail if you don't pay the child support. And if you don't pay the child support because you don't have a job or you don't make much. So, I don't know. We might have it in Mexico, but I never heard of that. I never heard that. And I'm not saying that we have good marriages in Mexico. We have horrible marriages, but what's more important is the collective. Not just one family or two families. Everybody. If everybody was starting to like saying, like, because in Mexico, thank God, we don't have that kind of welfare like that. Probably if we had it, if we had the welfare, that all you had to say, who's the father? And just like, oh, okay. It's just creating a lot of anger, like, I got very triggered after I saw this little boy, She was like, I really thought she was gonna pull it out. She was like pulling so hard his ear. I was like, and then you say like, oh, men hate women. Just for free. That boy couldn't do nothing. He didn't even blink. Nothing. He looked at me. He was like, and he was pulling his ear. I mean, big time. I don't know if he was pulling the hair up too, because that's another one. They do that. Hurt a lot. And she was whispering, and you're gonna do it. I didn't even hear what she was saying. There's got to be another way to punish children, not because, I got the power, because then when they got the power, then what's going to happen?
How can you call, now I don't rock with the feminist movement myself, but I'm not going to say all that about them. I don't hate them like that. Goddamn, Judge. What the fuck? Like, the way I hear a lot of these men getting their feelings about females and shit is ridiculous. Now, yeah, I don't agree with the feminist group either. I think they full of shit too, Judge. But the way you answer that sound like you just hate women, my nigga. Now, I know that ain't the case because we have sex with them. But I don't get this shit. Like, let's just listen to some more of this.
He just repeated that. This is what I used to say too. You say some shit about women. Oh, you hate women. You are misogynist. They even have a word. I don't think there's a word for women who hate men. Is there? I don't know. I never heard it. Or I heard misogynist. They're all misogynists. They're all patriarchal. This toxic masculinity. I told him, it was your own women who created that toxic masculinity, that intersectionality to destroy you. And he's defending them? I mean, it's good that you don't do this in public. I really feel like this should not be aired in public like this, but come on, everybody know. Everybody know your women are talking about you. Everywhere. They're good for nothing, men this, men that, and I'm in New York City. But don't distract me, please. It is sad. It is sad. I know I look like there's no way to look good while what I'm doing. But all I'm saying is that some of your women, they give you the worst recommendations. And it's not because, they want to end interracial marriages. no, they really mean it. And they really mean it. And I mean, there's Twitter right there. I stopped following like half of the women on Twitter because of that. I'm like I say, I'm not gonna just sit here and just watch just like generalizing everybody, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and then there's other same women like, fighting incarceration and whatever, blah, blah. When it's convenient, they go like, oh, yes, the system. And it's like, but they love the system. A lot of you women love the system. And they are just pretending that, oh, fuck this system. I mean, look at their priorities. They want equal pay. Because they say black women, they get paid like what, 23 cents less than white women? And I always challenge them, and how much black men get paid? If they got a job. If, they went to school. If, they came out of jail. If they haven't been killed by the police. If. It's a sad mess. It's a very sad mess, and I really don't want to talk about this no more ever again. I mean, it's just, and I don't want this shit to come to Mexico either. So I'm selfish too. I put that in the comment. I don't want because no race put women as the face of the race. It just don't. We think with the left brain. We think we was made emotional for a reason. To take care of our children, of our house, or immediate surrounding. A man strategize with the right brain, and they think and all this stuff that we would never even think about. So that I love having conversations with men, because it's like, I feel like, do you live in the same planet I live in? Because I never really thought about that. And the things that they are watching out for, I would never in a million years think about it. But those are dangers for them and all this stuff. So it's like, there's such a lack of communication, such lack of, understanding and knowing each other. And, when I was growing up, that was a joke. When it came out, the unisex clothes and stuff like that. And they only made a scandal because this famous actress, she wore slacks, pants, to her husband's funeral. And to this day, that's used to say like how brute, how barbaric men are. How you criticize a woman for wearing pants. I'm talking about this was that was before I was born, when this other actor died. I think it was 1957. So I was born in 1965. So, but they still talk about it like, they made a scandal because she wore pants at a funeral. So they pick up headlines and they run with it for centuries. It's like the damn crackers, the same strategy as the crackers. They're still talking about 9/11. I mean, there's been like a million Holocausts since 9/11, but they're bleeding in for all this work. More documentaries, more grants, more lawsuits. They just came out with there's another lawsuit that anybody can go, a class action lawsuit you can become member of. And we know a lot of these fucking crackers that was not even in New York City that day. So, thank you. So, marry me. I'm trying to get married. Too late. 54 years old, What am I going to get married for? I got too much work, I'm not a workaholic, but I got to stay focused. They're trying to make another coup d'etat in Mexico. And I ain't standing for that. That's where you don't know Mexicans, if they try it again, because this is our last hope. We know President Lopez Obrador for 40 years. and he loves us so much, like the same way that Dr. Umar Johnson loves you so much, and you attack him 24/7.
Well, I also wanted to clarify for me as well, Judge, because I know you had mentioned Thurgood Marshall, Dr. King, Frederick Douglass, and I just wanted to clarify with you that your comments were not suggestive of saying that by doing the Harriet Tubman movie that somehow undermined the works of those great male leaders, because that's what it kind
No,
of
it
sounded
doesn't.
like.
But the objective is, I've heard it from the Hollywood sources I have. These feminists are trying to do this movie so they can get a black woman put on a $20 bill. And they have no interest in this movie is to soften the public up to the idea of picking a black woman who frees slaves by leading.
And you gotta wonder why. You gotta wonder, when they fought tooth and nail not to have Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, but obviously they hired the teams and teams of psychologists and all this shit to, like, they was like, oh, if they see themselves in the money, they're gonna be even more, thirsty for money.
Them to freedom and getting her or another one like her on a $20 bill. They can't get a white woman, so they want a black woman. They don't care. They just want a woman, and it downs masculinity. Now, everybody...
Of course, just to humiliate you. Come on. I'm obviously not black, but, come on. It is a strategy. Like, imagine if the first thing you know about Mexicans is these women, they're going to say, like, well, this country is like, you might say, like, these Mexicans are like, different, because that's not the way. Manhood is not out of style. Manhood will never be outdated. Manhood will never, why are you doing this to yourselves? Why? Why are you so suicidal? Why are you self-destructive? Why? You don't have to be catty and vicious like a faggot to be like, oh, now these bitches like, no, of course not. But you just have to be like, say, like, interesting that there was no man good enough to be in the $20 bill. They could not find a single one. Because that's what everybody's going to think about you.
So to put a woman on a $2 bill downs masculinity. Niggas like, excuse me, I don't want to be disrespectful.
But
brothers like Judge Joe Brown are too in their fucking feelings. You're too in your feelings, bro.
The one in his feelings that blocked me from commenting your channel, Brother Sanchez. And nobody. It's like, really, why do you feel so fucking threatened? The fucking cracker shut down my YouTube channel completely. Didn't leave a single damn video. Not a single damn video. And my videos on average was getting 50, not even 100 views. It's just like, there's something wrong with that picture, because the men I know, they don't worry about dust.
I'm serious. Dude, listen to me. If you look at all the damn bills that we got, it's only men on them. It's only men on our fucking money.
What men? The crackers ain't men. It's a devil.
So the one time they put a woman on the fucking money, you think they down in masculinity? Niggas are too paranoid and y'all are too... We turning into the fucking Middle East. You know how the Middle East dudes be beating they women and covering them up? Goddamn, Judge. A woman has never been on the money, nigga. We only got males on our money. Now they want to put a black woman on the money, and you saying, no, let's put another dang on sausage up there. Let's put another man up there. Because look, we got enough men on our fucking money.
But it's like you say, oh, what's wrong? Women raising boys. There's nothing. This is what's wrong. This is what's wrong. You see a man and he don't even see danger. He lost even his instinct. And a man with no instinct is a dead man. How you not going to be saying like, come on, these fucking crackers, especially nobody know the crackers better than Africans. Nobody. It's crazy. I'm willing now to bet that he was raised by a single mother. He's just repeating the same thing, just regurgitating the same feminist stick that, and sad because, you see all these, I wasn't going to say affluent, but, they have good life and you see them all extremely overweight. They run in the subway to get a seat because they cannot even stand up. They're so sick from eating all this shit and stuff. So it's like, and alone, and bitter, and frustrated, and, ugh.
I don't mind them putting Harriet up there. I don't care if she existed or not. I don't care if she freed as many slaves as they did or not, because I don't give a fuck no way. My problem is, why do you niggas get so butthurt about the black women being on the money instead of the nigga that put her on there? See, Judge Joe Brown ain't really mad at the white man for putting her on there. He's mad at the feminists. He's mad at the black women for accepting it.
And he shouldn't be mad that, even the ones that are not feminists, they keep quiet and they endorse them and they like, I know. You got to laugh out loud. Otherwise, I'll be crying right now. It's just like, you don't see danger. You don't see. And this is, man, he branded himself to be one of the wokest men on YouTube. But we all have a blind spot. And he obviously loved his mother as he should. But that should not define you because you're a man. You should know that you're a man. And you should know when it's an indirect attack, when they're like doing a strategy, they're moving the chess, they're moving the chess pieces strategically just to, everybody, notice how they had these characters in the 80s, Homer Simpson, they started in the Homer Simpson in the 80s. Oh, he was white, whatever, and Archie Bunker, a fucking idiot, and or the Married with Children, and that was just the beginning to start yeah, men are trash, men ain't shit, men are and now those TV series and the movies, they are not as much as self-deprecating for cracker men, so. But now the deprecation for African men, either like sex crazy, either like a thug, or or either like everything. I watched when I had that Netflix, I watched some of the episodes of the last OG, and I really think that was a good show, but it was just like. They had to put the swirling. They had to, and you can tell that Tracy Morgan did his lines. He wrote like in defensive, that he said like, at least I'm gonna use this opportunity to say some of the shit that I've been meaning to want to say for a long time. So he don't see that. He don't see no harm. He just like, and if you dissent, then you're a misogynist. It's a trap. It's a fucking trap.
In other words, Judge Joe Brown is saying, how you gonna overlook me and pick her? You should have put my face on the money. The
when
black
he
man,
said
not
that,
the black woman. And what happens is, now they got the black man and black woman arguing with each other and further dividing us up.
Are you serious? This is why they want to put Harriet Tubman on the bill, to finish the job. Dr. Oibo, because I don't say Einstein, because Einstein is a piece of shit. with Dr. Oivo, Dr. Gabriel Oivo. You ain't got Dr. Gabriel Oivo.
I think the proper reaction for a black man in this situation is to be like, I don't give a fuck if they put Jimmy the Cricket on the dollar. Okay, if they want to put Harriet Tubman on it, it ain't gonna make me richer. I tell you what, how about you give me 2 million of them damn $2 bills?
So basically it's saying that Judge Joe Brown is a drama queen, that's being emotional, being like, see, men can never win. Not today. You know, I mean, like, this is what scares me because, you know, I'm really scared of passive-aggressive tactics. And that's what's going to happen. Men are going to starting to become passive-aggressive too, underhandedly, you know, finding shortcuts or, you know, finding ways to retaliate. It's fucking scary.
All right, now we talking. I don't care who you print on the motherfucking money. And these niggas hate women so much, they care. Ain't nothing but men on their money and they mad.
I told him on the tweet, I followed Judge Joe Brown for at least 5 years. Well, I don't listen to his show. Maybe his show. He compared to Tommy Sotomayor. Are you serious? It's half fucking disrespectful. Like, you know, it's like his mother is talking right now. That's what it is.
The one time they put a female on it, it's an attack on masculinity. Niggas like you are an attack on masculinity, brother. You, over emotional cats. Niggas who trying to compete with their mama. You're an attack on masculinity. It's sad that this is a judge we're talking about and the man old enough to be my granddaddy. And it lets me know as a people, we're in trouble. Now, I love a lot of things Judge Joe Brown say. He speaks up for the men, but he's radical when it comes to these women. Fuck these women. Did you hear that brother cut in like, I don't give a fuck, go to hell?
A radical come from the word root. You have to address the root. Like I say, I'm a Honorable Malcolm X disciple. And if you ain't gonna be addressing the root, please, don't talk to me. Don't bother me. I don't want to be part of no movement, no nothing that is not really gonna go to the root. And the root is the crackers. And that's what Judge Joe Brown is saying. You know, this is strategic move from the Europeans. Come on, I mean, 400 years. We're just commemorating 400 years since the first Africans arrived into this territory. You're gonna fall again? You actually sticking up for the damn crackers? Nothing that come from the fucking crackers, Dr. John Henry Clark told us, nothing that come from it is going to be for your own good. Going to contribute to your own freedom. Nothing. No exceptions. He said, no exceptions. Nothing that come from the mind of the crackers is good.
Like, damn, we banging on a nigga. You came out of a woman. How come we can't debate against the feminists like we do with the brothers? When Judge Brown disagree with a brother, they debate it, be respectful, but they disagree with the feminist groups and fuck them feminists. I hope they all go to hell. Goddamn, Judge. Damn, bro. Why y'all feel like that toward these women, G? Hold on, let's play this again.
Somebody on a bill is not a dead president. Don't forget Ben Franklin. He was never a president. So that's plenty of precedent to put in somebody black who was never a president. Like, let's say if we want to go back to the 19th century, like all the rest of the people are on there, died off in the 19th century or the 18th century. We've got Ben Franklin, so we can have Frederick Douglass.
But you see, I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but you don't have a problem with a black woman, and in this case, Harriet Tubman, being memorialized in whatever way that comes, you don't have a problem with that, do you? Or do you
I
have
got
a
a
problem
big
with
problem
that?
if it's on a bill before they put a black man's face on one.
Wow, brother, this is like childish shit. I'm scared because Judge Joe Brown is an OG and he's acting like a child. And this is how the white man want us black men to act, like little children. You know, when daddy come in the room and he give sister them Jolly Ranchers, but he didn't give none of the brothers no candy. Daddy came in the house and gave all the girls a gift. But he been taking the boys fishing every day. Remember, men been on the dollars. The male face been on the money. So now daddy come home one day and he said, you know what? Let me give my girls a little candy, a little lollipop. Because I don't take them fishing like I take the boys. And the boys sit up there, I got a problem with you handing out suckers. If you ain't gonna give me now to daddy, you just gave my sisters them a sucker. This is the Judge Joe Brown mentality. Umar asked that man, do you got a problem with a black woman being memorialized? And this guy said, yeah, I got a problem with her being memorialized. If they gonna give hers over mine, if they gonna give the black woman a place on a dollar before the black man, then I got a problem. Just like the children. That's childish. Mama gave them candy and didn't give me none.
I want to know what you all think. Anybody want to join the chat? Let me know. I don't know how to do it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I will apologize. But if I know anything a little bit about the crackers, this don't smell good. This smells like sulfur. How long was that initiative of Harriet Tubman? Wasn't it from the 80s or the 70s? To put her in a currency? And they fought it tooth and nail. Why they came around? You don't even listen to what Judge Joe Brown had to say. Immediately, divide and conquer. It's just divide and conquer.
What you mad about, Sanchez? Daddy just gave all of them candy. He didn't give the boys none. Well, he been taking y'all fishing every day. I don't care. I got a problem that he gave to Quanda them candy. He didn't get...
Well, I'm so sorry. It's so insulting. I really admire Judge Joe Brown. I really feel like this is calling him, and like he said, he's older enough to be his grandfather. I really feel like this is totally unrequired, but fuck, age is only a number to you, right?
Give me none. This is childish, bro. Tighten up. You a man. Get over it. Let them chicks get their lollipops. What the fuck? This the kind of men we got today? I'm young and I got to come out here like this to an OG, a judge. I'm scared for the future of black men if we this damn childish. We should be mad at the white man instead of dividing it up. You put her on a dollar before the black man. Now you got a bunch of black men and black women arguing when we still ain't getting none of the damn money no way. Fuck who printed on the money. You ain't getting none of the damn money. We the brokest race in their way.
I mean, I can even imagine feminists, yes, we are the first one. Feminists are taking, I heard that they say that there would still be slavery if it wasn't because of black women. I heard the black women was the ones that didn't get the credit in the civil rights movement. I heard so much. These bitches are carpet baggers. I don't know if you understand that term. You know that carpet baggers. They just take that and no, it was a woman who did this. It was like, and men have never done shit throughout history. And those are the spaces that count, because that's where the crackers are promoting that is array with lettuce and tomato, like, well, I'm not gonna be like all these Candace Owens, like all these, and they are not even the tip of the iceberg. This is like, you're gonna risk it, you wanna wait and see, and then like 20, 30 years from now, I'm gonna be saying like, oh shit, and just psychologically, to have a child, just like, but he is the product of that. He normalized women leadership, like absolute leadership. Women, it's a broken homes. This is like, in antiquity, every, I'm studying a lot about my ancestors in Mexico. And because we were civilized by Africans, I see a lot of the similarities with Kemetic principles of balance, the feminine and the energies, and how they work together, how the masculine energy, the feminine energy, that was the mastery, because that was where how, I don't even have to say it. All you got to do is just look at it. Just look at it. Mexico is the place where there is the most pyramids in the whole world, and you cannot get that. And Europeans, they don't believe in that. But you without one or the other, there's no such thing as one or without the other. Either or we all arrive or none of us arrive. That's just a reality. So
The damn old black man in our community hating on the damn women cause she on a damn funky ass $2 bill. Nigga, you a millionaire.
well, he didn't even hear the arguments.
You don't have a problem with that, do you? Or do you
I
have
got a
problem
big
with that,
problem if it's on a bill before they put a black man's face on one. I have a...
Tell me that don't sound childish.
No.
If it's on a bill before they put a black man...
It sounds common sense. It sounds, who is the defenders of the land? Listen, like, I don't want to talk societies that are feminine, but if you look around feminine societies, you feel like it's not just what the feminist narrative, because they're the ones, writing the books. They're the ones that only the black women's books is the ones that promoting, like Toni Morrison. Even with Professor Jason Black told us that there were several of his pieces, or her pieces, I'm sorry, Toni. What's up with women getting men's name? I think Toni Baloney. So she wrote, interracial marriages, in her novels. She demonized black men in her novels. And that's why, Toni, what was her name again? Toni, you know what I'm talking about. She just died. I was going to say Toni Robinson. Yeah, but that Toni, that's why. Every time, you see that there's like applause or whatever, you got to dig deeper. And you say like, why the cracker is allowing this moment? Or why the cracker is encouraging this moment? Why? Because it's self-destructive to that particular community. It's not going to promote nothing, unity, a nuclear family, power. No, no, never.
And face on one. So you don't see yourself in your woman, dude? Any real man.
I know Tyler Perry do. I know Juicy Smollett do.
No. If they put a black woman on that money, I get credit in that too. When you look at my woman, you looking at me too. I come from that. See,
you don't know how colonial dynamics work. Neo-colonialism. It is about psychological warfare. It's about media warfare. It is. Look at this. The reason that President Evo Morales in Bolivia was ousted in 5 minutes was because they already had all the press. They already had all the media. He was already tried and convicted. They started saying that he was a dictator, especially 3 years ago. He started saying a dictator, a Hitler, and this and that. So it's easy. They first is like they put their it's like a chess game. It's not going to be checkmate. You just sit down and checkmate. No. The pieces they've been moving, you wasn't walking off to see them, and then checkmate.
It don't matter if someone compliments the child or the parent because you compliment them both. If someone look at your child and say, Mama, you did a good job, then the child take the compliment too because I'm the good job.
No, the girl is going to grow up with this superiority complex. It's going to grow up saying men are death weight. Oh, we have to save men all the time. Because that's what they preach in every sitcom. And it is like, oh, what would men do without women?
Or if the person say, this is an awesome child you got, then the parent gonna take that as a compliment. Well, I must did good.
And us women, we really don't know what to do with that, because naturally it's not for us. They start with this adulation, and I see a lot of women, it went to their head already, and they lost themselves. I know women, they lost themselves in that adulation and all that. You are the shit. You are the shit. You are this. You are that. And we don't know. And a lot of times it is just like, it's hard to explain too because, but if you study history, you will see that the world have never been the way it is right now. All those gender abuses, all those stuff like that was because of Islam and Christianity, which are extremely patriarchal religions. I mean, originally Islam, no. Because it was I understand it was followers of the stars, right? There was a spiritual. But once the Arabs, I think I could say, imposed it in Africa, and I'm reading the Black Jacobino. I don't know how to say that. I don't know where my bag is. So I just started reading. I bought it 3 years ago, and I thought it was going to be about politics or something. In 2 pages, it gives you the history of Africa. I kind of I wish I can read it. So you get an idea of this was horrific, and I was reading it yesterday in the subway, and I was like, whoa. It just the Black Jacobians, Toussaint Louverture and the San Domingo Revolution. Saint Domingue. Let me see if I'm just gonna pick whatever. So it's Where was it that I saw? They had like a 2-page synopsis of all the calamities, beginning with the Arabs. They say like everybody forgot about the devastation the Arabs did. So once the crackers arrived, Africa was already compromised and everything. Let me see. Where was that part of Africa? I'm sorry. It's such a small part, but you get really an idea. And this is like I wish that everybody understand, how severely beaten the African continent been. And I'm talking about more than 2,000 years. 2,000 years. I didn't have anything to separate, to highlight. Maybe it wasn't the... Oh, gosh. Yeah, it's just... Well, let's listen first.
You see what I'm saying? Like, why are black men so furious and so fucking combative against our women? They can't have shit without some black man get mad coming out the wood. Yes, I got a problem with the black woman getting suckers from massa. If he ain't gonna get a black man no suckers too, I like green apple.
No, wait, let me say something else. Personally, there is no way I'm going to follow a woman. I just won't. She'll either follow me.
This one, when he was on the Tommy Sotomayor show, Tommy agreed with him. So a female called in and she disagreed with the way Tommy go about the women. I'm not trying to get into that argument. I got my own opinions on how I think he do it or whatever, but that ain't important. I want to stay on topic. Anyway, Judge was taken up for Tommy, or whatever, and he started to make these statements. He started his statement off with, first of all, I would never follow a woman, which I think is a stupid statement. It don't make you more of a man or I'm masculine because I won't follow a woman. If my woman can add better than me, damn it, I'm going to let her handle all the calculations and math. I'm not going to be no stupid, egotistical ass man. Nope, I'm going to do everything. I ain't following no woman, even though my woman can do better finances than me. People, what's wrong with black people? Do we do this just for the internet? Is it just for show? Do he really mean this? Because this hurt me. Like, I never follow a woman. That's stupid. Don't teach your children that. We should be teaching our children, if you with somebody and you in a relationship, what your woman is good at, you let her lead in that. And what you good at, you lead in that.
Well, now you changed your entire discourse. Yeah, that's not what it said. I think it was this book. It was not that book. I'm like, now you changed the whole thing. It was like, of course, it's a compliment. We're complementary. This is why we are, left brain, men are right brain. We are a complement, and together we are able to conquer everything and do everything, but not alone. It's like being handicapped.
I never follow a woman. If my woman, no construction work, just say I married a woman who's a mechanic. She know how to fix cars better than me. Cause I'm a security guard. I don't know shit about fixing a car, but I'm a man. But what if I married a woman who was a mechanic? Fuck that. You ain't fixing my car, cause I'm the man. I ain't following no woman. Well, she know that shit better than you, dude. Where is balance? It's hidden behind ego. It's hidden behind, I got to overshow that I'm masculine. Like, dude, I'm a man. I'm very masculine. I'm a fucking wolf. I know my capability as a man, and I love being this fiery man. But I don't got to burn shit every day, son. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm a man, but I don't got to show that shit every fucking second. And I ain't got to be looking for just the right time to show you how much of a man I am in the argument. You know, everyone just chilling. We trying to have a conversation. And it's always some nigga that's changing the narrative to show you how manly he is. Well, I don't agree. I think women should sit in the back of the fucking bus and shut the hell up and let all the men get up front. Them type of niggas.
I don't know. I just cannot stop watching. I mean, like, I got distracted. What now? And it's like, this is why it's impossible to have any conversation or debate, because immediately is this gross generalizations. There's no nuances. There's no like contextualization. You know, that how we just learned, internalized all the fucking toxic behavior from the fucking crackers. You know, and the worst part is that we went into taking their side, picking their side. They did it in a way that they put black and brown faces to making it look like it coming from us. Well, I'll put a little more, but I don't know where he
You ain't more manly, you stupid. That's not the way a man behaves. That's the way a moron behaves. And I'm not calling Judge Joe Brown a moron. I'm just saying, when you some hot-headed Negro that can't see the truth behind your ego, behind your overload of masculinity, because real men don't have to overshow that shit like that. I don't gotta compete with my mama, and I don't care if Harriet gets on a fucking $2 bill before a man gets on one, because I'm a man, but guess what? I came from a woman. Remember that the strongest man in the world was held in his damn hand by a woman. Incredible Hulk, nigga. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know how strong he is. At some point, his mama held him like this in her fucking hand. One hand, that's how small he was. She could have threw his ass back there somewhere.
And a lot of them do.
Recognize the power of the woman and the role that nature put her in, and quit trying to go against nature, niggas, because you misrepresent what a man really is. True men don't compete with the fucking women, nigga. We protect the women. What's wrong with these niggas today? This not the type man that need to... No, you niggas ain't represent for men. We don't go out there happen to feel like we got to show I'm a man every... But nigga, get the hell out of here. You trying too hard. You're not a man because you ain't secure. A real man don't even think about that shit. He just be a man. Some of these niggas got to go into man mode and over, you know, like, bro, just be a man.
Or I will follow somebody I choose as fearless leader. Now, on the other hand, I got you directing my show. I've got black female doctors, black female lawyers, black female accountants, and black females that do it. But you're not going to be fearless.
I got to stop and be fair with it. Everything I just said, Judge did just say that. So let's not just ignore that. He just came with what I just said. I'm gonna be fair here. He said basically he said I got black women handling my business. I got black women who are my accountants, who doing different things like this. So let's give the judge a thumb up for that. He just said what I said. Basically, he said, I do let the black woman lead where she's great at. And that's what I was saying. So we on the same page. No beef there. No beef at all. I'm just critiquing the shit passionately. Y'all know I'm a preach. I'm from the South. But I love Judge Joe Brown. I'm not trying to give personal attacks. I'm going to tell you what I do hate. I hate old men acting childish. And I'm going to call that shit out every time. And I don't give a fuck how mad anybody get. His overload of fucking spite against, the woman is a bit childish to me. To even care about who face on the damn money is kind of childish to me. For you, you're a millionaire, nigga. You should care about how much of the money you got, not who face on it. Because if we care who face on it, we would have been arguing about the white man being the only one on it. So instead of them putting a black man on a dollar, they put a black woman, and the black man feel like, well, shit, all these white people got is man on their money. When they finally let the black face on the money, they give it to the woman, which I think is dope. I don't care, because look here, it's showing you the foundation of the black race. And first of all, if you want to talk about ancient Africa and black people, traditionally, we are matriarchal. Don't mean that.
Okay, I'm going to stop it. That's a lie. It's matrilineal. Yeah, I listened to Professor James Moe. I listened to Dr. Mfundishi. He can read the Meduneter. He can read and write Meduneter. He's from Tanzania. And, so it's like, I mean, I just really hope that people do their research and not just jump at some freaking trend just because it's trending. And especially, if it's like, if it's a come around, a turnaround, from the Europeans. Why the turnaround? No. I don't have a cell phone. This is a cell phone, but it's not connected. I'm just using it with my Wi-Fi. So yeah, it is just it is something that I hope it won't come to Mexico. That's all I have to say. That I don't want that, because I'm fighting really hard in my country to catch a voice, to catch a little bit of attention from the government, and because immediately there's always like these trends that go like, oh my God, we owe everything to women. Women are everything. Men have never done nothing. That was like Black Lives Matter movement was all about. If you read all the statements from Black Lives Matter, it's just like, women traditionally are the one who's done everything, and so they have saved the society, and they even say it. They even said it. I went to see her. I went to see her at the Chamber, one of them, and just like, she bit her tongue shortly before saying men are trash, and it's just like, how patriarchal, how they've forgotten us, how they like, I mean, how you say they've forgotten you just because you don't have fame or whatever, just like, the only thing we know about the African diasporic men is because they are like right now on death row, unjustly, just because some fucking cracker policeman use him as scapegoat. you know, we the headlines in just like it's very few. I mean, like in sports when they are being used as property. In you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. You know, just like I don't think it's, in my opinion, it's not right to have first uh, anything, because that means that those men wasn't good enough to lead their own people. And if you don't want male leadership, that's fine, but you better say it like that. I don't want to be led by men. Then you start your own shit. You want to be like, you know, you want to reinvent the wheel. You want to like whatever, but say it like that, you know, because it's not just Joe Brown. It's these bitches that they just don't want to share the spotlight. And and like about 3-4 years ago, there was, I think in the New York Times, they said there was a survey they did with millennials, and they found out a high percentage of the millennials, they was willing to do extreme things for fame and fortune, especially for fame. You can look it up, that research. So we live in times that, you know, that you know, this is why I retired. I used to be trying to get transsexual, non-white transsexual women to get us a space to gain some control of our narrative and stuff. But it was just like every time I tried something, it was just like, oh, like this bitch is trying to steal my spotlight. She's trying to, you know, if you mention somebody's name, it's like, oh, that bitch won views. What views? Whatever. I never charged a penny. I never like monetized my videos. I never, nothing. That's why I retired. Like almost like 4 years ago, I'm like, I don't want to have nothing to do with that circus, because it's all about publicity. It's all about, you know, self-promotion. These are fucking media whores that are willing to sell up their own mother. That's what the survey, the study said. Even their own parents, they was willing to, you know, I mean, they, you have to look it up. You have to look it up, and it's just like, anyway. But now I'm hungry. Not that hungry, but I'm sleepy for some reason. Yesterday I went to was the last stop of the 3 train, New Lots. Over there, New Lots, and you know, I realized I haven't been in New Lots like almost 10 years ago. You know, and I thought it was like, wow, it's changing a lot. They're building this. They say it's a community building, but it looks like it's gonna be. And a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, it's like, I don't know. But it's like another world, the other New York City. It's good sometimes, you know, take walks in other places, you know, so we don't just get trapped in our own heads. You want to know how fascinating my speaking is? I put my cats to sleep. That's how fascinating is my conversations. Have a good day, everybody. Happy Sunday. And thank you for the support. And start these conversations. It's not misogyny, like they call it. It's not homophobia, like they wanted. And it's like, you know, they wanted to say. It's just like, you know, God, gave men testosterone for a reason. You know, it's not just testosterone behave extremely differently. And if you wanna hear the opinion of an expert, you can talk to me. You know, it was horrible. You know, testosterone is just like really weird for me. I mean, like I was like, you know, this like I don't know how to describe it, but when I used to have any testosterone on me, now I think I need some testosterone, that the thing that they put on, because I don't have any sex drive or anything. So, but I'm okay like this. I'm very peaceful, and I have so much work. Colombia just started to like the African diaspora say, to pop off. And I don't know how many um, they've killed and everything. They started to declare martial law in Colombia, but it's too fucking late. They have 8 United States military bases, so Colombia is fucked. I mean, we have to be all really united, to get this. And that was President Obama who put him there. That was a good one, to put 8 military bases, in a tiny little country, because they wanted to, I mean, yeah, but you got to think that Venezuela got the largest oil reserves, so they want all the oil. It's about oil. This is a parasitic behavior, just doing what they always do, kill to steal, kill to plunder, kill to enslave. That's what they do. That's their MO. And happy Sunday, relax. I didn't realize it was Sunday. It's like, supposedly I was just gonna chill and relax today, and I was like, I'm hoping that he get to see the point. I hope he get to see, and I hope he get to delete that video, because it's just too much Kool-Aid that he drinking in that video. Goodbye.